I played like fuck all games this year, but compared to last year, a lot of the games are actually not that bad. So here is the top games I played this year, not including Zelda, because it didn't fucking come out! Number 14 is Mario Golf. This one has Wiggler. It's pretty good. Number 13 is God of War, God of Boar. Game is pretty good besides the fact it never fucking ends. This game doesn't have as many stupid cave parts in this, but has a lot of annoying mirror puzzles. Like, what the fuck? But at least the game has more than one boss this time, and it also has gyro aiming. So that's nice, I guess. Number 12 is Metroid Dread. I played this a lot this year, mostly trying to attempt speedrunning at it, and even though I suck, it's still pretty good, aside from this stupid part here. But the bosses are pretty damn good, and they only sometimes hurt my fingers to the point where I can't even play it anymore. Number 11, Sheepy Game. This game has one sheep, but the title has sheep on it, yet all the characters are not sheep. Is this a No Man's Sky situation? Either way, this game is a randomly generated brawler kind of game where you get one weapon that sucks dick like the sword, then you get the axe and it becomes way better. Also, people keep wanting to eat poo, so you gotta sacrifice them after that. Number 10 is Kena. This game is a lot like Zelda, but way worse control-wise. It has some cool ideas, but is mostly just a tech demo for a way bigger game. The platforming parts are pretty cool though. Number 9, Elder's Ring. Since we didn't get Zelda this year, Nintendo gave us this instead. Unfortunately, this game still doesn't have proper dungeons like we were asking for, but the amount of crazy bosses and enemies is insane. The best part of the game is just fucking around in the overworld and trying to find new weapons that will make you better at not dying as fast. Then you have this guy, which took about 80 years to beat, but once you beat him, you get to fight the next guy. Number 8 is Splatoon 3. For the single player mode, everything I said in my review holds up, but as for the multiplayer, the amount of online problems this game has made me not like it as much as I should. If the game didn't disconnect every 5 seconds or punished you for the fault of the game, it would have been a lot better, but unfortunately it's very hard to enjoy the game, especially in ranked mode when every time you play you get a disconnect and then you go down a rank even when you are winning. Number 7. I played a lot of Mario Party games this year, but the one that stood out to me the most was Mario Party 6. Unlike most Mario Party games, this one has a standout feature, the day and night system. Each board uses the system to a different effect, with one board making Bowser appear at night, with another board having the amount you spend on stars be randomized, meaning you could end up getting a shit ton of stars at once, or none depending on the price. This adds a level of variety not seen in other party games, and it also has the microphone games too. Number 6. Over the years there have been many Picross games released, but the best one is obviously the Zelda one, because it's Zelda. Other than that, the simple but robust nature of the game makes it the easiest to play. It may not have the level system of other Picross games, but it also doesn't have the clunky nature of the earlier ones. It also has this crazy mega Picross mode. Number 5. Every year many racing games come out, but this year they released one that had a very mixed reception, Gran Turismo 7. When it came out, it had a lot of issues with monetization, but as for the game, it's pretty good. The amount of cars you can use and the design of the tracks, plus the story mode, makes it a good amount better than Sport. Plus the use of the PS5, which makes it one of the best looking racing games ever. My only problem with the game is the lack of tracks and the music is a bit meh. But if they add more over time, it will be a very smooth ride. And also add VR mode too. Number 4. Kirby had a big year this year, but the biggest Kirby of all is the Kirby Forgotten 3D World Land. This game managed to take the Mare Star allies and go into 3D and change it all up. The amount of cool levels in this game and the way it controls makes this one of the best Switch platformers. My biggest problem with it though is it's still pretty easy. If they added some harder levels like in Odyssey, it would have been a lot less of an issue. Number 3. Ever since 2014, Donkey Kong has been dead. But we still got Country 2! This game is not only hard, but to me it's even harder than Country 1. The level design will fuck you up, especially the final boss where I died about 1,000 times. Then there's this minecart level, and this sword boss. Then you have to pay to save, which is like, what the fuck? Number 2. Pikmin 1 and 3 are both some of my favourite games of all time, but for some reason I never got around to playing 2. I don't know why, because this game, despite not being as good, is still an amazing game. The level design is brilliant, the bosses are weird, the music is relaxing, the treasures are AA battery, rubber duck, Rob's head. Even though the caves are a bit tedious and some of the enemies fucking suck ass, the game is still worth playing, and hopefully when Pikmin 4 comes out we will have 4 amazing Pikmin games. Number 1. Paper Mario! Holy shit, this game has a cloud in it. The music is so good. The levels are so diverse. Paper Mario is one of those games that you wonder why everyone loves it. Then you play it and realize it's a Nintendo game. The amount of charm that this game has isn't surprising, but it's well welcomed. The turn-based combat isn't amazing, but it is simple enough to where it doesn't really get too stale, and the characters and world is just so interesting that it doesn't really matter. It does get a bit confusing at times, with the desert level being very easy to get lost in without some kind of guide to help you. And it does take a bit of time to get going, but once it goes far. My favorite level or chapter is probably the Lava Island one, which takes you to basically Yoshi's Island, and you have to go into a volcano. The chapters are paced very well, with them not really overstaying their welcome aside from like chapter 2. My only complaint really is the combat getting a bit stale sometimes, and the lack of enemies mean you'll rarely see them a bit too often. But overall, this game has enough charm to make it not really matter.